Hello the YouTube, my name's Adam from Gunjack, coming at you guys today with a review of the Classic Army Knights Armament Stoner 96. Before we look at the replica, let's explore the gun's real steel history. The LMG is a belt-fed automatic rifle developed by Florida firearms manufacturer Knights Armament Company. It is chambered in the NATO standard 5.56 cartridge with the bigger brother AMG variant chambered in the larger NATO standard 7.62 cartridge. The LMG's lineage includes the Stoner 63, a Vietnam-era rifle developed by famed AR-15 engineer Eugene Stoner. The Stoner system had seen multiple revisions throughout the years, with one variant even entering trials to compete with the FN Mini-Me, better known to US forces as the M249. In 2017, 20 years after Stoner's death, the LMG was unveiled with a new recoil system that greatly reduced the amount of felt recoil to the operator. Although the LMG hasn't seen formal adoption, it has been seen used by the U.S. Army Special Forces Command, possibly for evaluation purposes.
That's really cool.
The Classic Army Stoner will arrive in a small box that, fortunately, is packed with the updated black styrofoam. The box includes one magazine, a vertical foregrip, two rail covers, a manual, and the gun itself. The Stoner is made mostly out of aluminum, with the plastic parts being limited to the pistol grip, the magazine, and the flash hider. The prime advantage of the Stoner over more conventional LMG replicas is the gun's weight, which comes in at around 10 pounds unloaded. Most other comparable replicas will weigh in anywhere from 16 to 25 pounds. The Stoner includes an aluminum quad rail system with enough rail space to fit the majority of aftermarket Picatinny rail accessories. The foregrip and rail covers included will fit without a problem. The battery on the Stoner is wired to the gas tube on the bottom of the handguard. To access this tube, just push down on the tab on the top of the gun to release the barrel assembly. This space is pretty cramped, fitting only a buffer tube sized LiPo at maximum. I highly recommend running the wires to a PEC box on the rail system, since this will open up your battery possibility by a very large margin. I should also note that the wiring was fed out through the rail system right out of the box, so it seems Classic Army also recommends the strategy. The front sight on the Stoner sticks up pretty awkwardly compared to the rest of the gun, but it is removable with one Allen screw. Most players I have seen will opt to attach a flip-up front sight to the top of the rail system and ditch the stock sight. The magazine is a modified M249 magazine and has a capacity of 1,200 rounds. Spare magazines are sold for the Stoner, though at the time of filming they are out of stock in US web stores and go for a price of $120. The magazine runs on a single 9-volt battery and have three settings: off, on, and auto. Off will cut power to the magazine completely, on will run the magazine motor continuously, and auto will wind the motor as the gun is being fired. The magazine features a spring-loaded floor plate to assist in loading and reduce magazine noise. To load the magazine fully, pull down on the plunger as you pour BBs into the loading door. The floor plate will rise as BBs exit the magazine, reducing rattle significantly. The magazine works very similarly to an M249 magazine. There is a tab on the box that will lock into place. Then you must insert the feed tube into the gun's loading hole, where it will lock into place. The tube is also secured in place by a spring-loaded metal gate, so even though the method is unorthodox, it feeds and locks into place just fine. You are able to modify M249 magazines to work with the Stoner, which is what I recommend you do for ease of use. To modify an M249 magazine, you simply need to screw the end piece of the feed tube onto the tube of the M249 magazine. You can also find free 3D models of the end pieces online, so you can print some extras to keep on hand if you want to convert more magazines in the future. The hop-up on the Stoner can be accessed by lifting the feed tray. It is a rotary hop-up and is pretty effective, though aftermarket upgrade hop-up chambers are getting more difficult to find. The dial on the hop-up is pretty stiff out of the box, but it will loosen up a bit over time. The gearbox on the Stoner is a modified version 2 gearbox with 8mm bushings included stock. It won't be as durable as M249s or M60s built on LMG style gearboxes, but it is purpose built for full auto fire. It won't be a happy camper if you mag dump it constantly and burn up the trigger contacts, but it should handle a high volume of fire in a support role with little difficulty. The stock on the Stoner isn't great. It's a collapsing tube with 6 positions, but the length of pull in the first 3 or 4 positions I feel would be uncomfortable for a full-grown adult trying to get a proper sight picture. It does make it more maneuverable for a faster type of gameplay, but the low-speed, high-drag milsim types like myself won't be a fan. Classic Army does offer a backplate that allows the use of a buffer tube, though the plate itself is $50 at the time of filming, and it is pretty easy to modify a spare buffer tube to fit the existing backplate if you so desire. So, what's the final verdict on this gun? Well, it's a different option built on a familiar foundation. Support players seeking a saw-like experience will feel right at home with the Stoner at around half the cost. It does have some downsides like the less robust gearbox construction and challenging magazine options, but I feel this is outweighed by the gun's ease of use and lightweight nature. If you're the type of player to go fast and spray fire in the direction of bad guys, this gun is for you. If you're looking for a heavy suppressing fire LMG, you may want to look elsewhere. The Stoner is fully capable of working in a traditional support role if it's your only or your favorite option, though there are guns on the market better designed for this purpose like an M249 or a PKM. Overall, it's a unique and effective LMG that gets overlooked by many, and should serve you well if you're prepared to put in a little work to take it to the next step with a couple of simple modifications. Well, that about does it for this review. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like or a comment and subscribing since I do have more Airsoft content coming. Thanks again, and as always, stay frosty.